Beth.
And I'm Joel.
And welcome to Framed
Canvas Cuff
and Other Stuffs.
Season 2, baby.
Woo!
We're back. Enjoy the episode. I hate the wind too. It's my least favourite form of weather. Take that to the bank.
I think mine's rain.
Oh, I love rain.
I like rain when I'm inside.
Well, yeah, no one likes being out in the rain.
Yeah. Well,
But
if we're enduring the elements, I don't want to endure any.
I could handle it. I can handle it raining, but if it's like blustering wind all up in my tits, then I get cranky. And when it's like hot wind, you know, in summer where you like step outside and it feels like you've just walked into an oven.
Yeah.
And you just like, you're like
It's
that
a
Beyonce,
wall of heat.
that someone took a photo of her at one of her concerts and it's just like the one shot where Beyonce doesn't look absolutely perfect. And she's like,
And it's
that's
just
what it feels like.
1000%.
Talking about the weather
Once again.
in our dungarees.
We didn't plan this.
We didn't.
We did not.
We were feeling a bit dungareesy today in our overalls. I'm really fidgety with it. I think I can never sit. I watch myself on the YouTube and I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, Joel, sit the fuck still. I'm always just like, da ba da ba ba ba.
I'll allow it.
My legs are all jiggling and all that.
The same. You
No,
realize
you can sit more like you're more chill. I'm like a little
medicated.
jitterbug. So am I.
I feel like
I'm on the wrong medication.
How are you, Joel?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's been happening?
We've got our dance performance next week. So we've been doing a lot of rehearsing for that for months.
Literally.
Yes. I never want to hear these two songs again that we're dancing to, but I'm ready to do it. It's going to be a lovely night.
I promise you.
Yeah, I promise.
It will be perfect.
Yes.
I love that.
It's not going to be perfect, but adds. Oh, no.
All right. What are you recommending this week, Joel?
You first. I haven't really thought about it.
All right. Well, I'm going to recommend. This is a recommendation from a recommendation, and I'm just going to pass it on
Inception.
to the. Yeah, it's an Inception recommendation. I listen to a podcast called Shameless. It's a very popular podcast here in Australia. It's pop culture podcast. Very funny. I like it.
Shameless.
Shameless.
I have heard of it.
It's a couple of gals.
The
talking
Mia
about,
Friedman or someone? The
No.
Mamma Mia?
No,
The Celeste Barber?
It's not, funnily enough. It's a independent one.
Oh.
But they've grown, like they're a big, huge
Okay.
thing now. But they talked about it, how easy it is to jump online now these days and select that you're an organ donor. And I have always, because you just go to, in Australia, I don't know how it works anywhere else. So this is specifically in my mind, I'm always like, I need to donate my organs when I die. And then I go, oh my God, you got to fill out so much paperwork, blah, blah, blah.
I was not expecting your recommendation to be donating
donate
organs.
It's a pretty important thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I always think, oh God, it's too hard.
But I don't play the organ.
I haven't got my talents up yet. So you jump online. All you need is your Medicare card. It takes less than 2 minutes and you can become an organ donor. So if that is something you think you want to do, it is so much easier than you think.
I think I am an organ donor on my license.
You can check.
I can check.
You can check. It will take you 2 minutes.
Take everything. I don't care.
I don't care. I'm not attached to them when I'm dead.
Take my eyes. Did they take your eyes?
I don't know. Maybe for science?
Maybe.
Because
I don't think they take, Joel, I don't think they take dead people's eyes and put them into other people's eyes.
Yeah. But
because then you'll start seeing like little
what
flashes of what the dead person saw.
Yeah.
I think that's literally the premise of the movie The Eye with Jessica Alba.
You know what? Go and watch that and then come back and let us know.
Which, oh my God, sorry, I'm jumping around.
No, I like
it. That's just reminded me of something. Oh, I don't know if I should say.
Say it.
Okay, so
we'll cut it out if it's too much.
When I was in high school.
Oh my God.
I watched the movie The Eye with Jessica Alba.
Yep.
And then I had to do an English exam. And I'm pretty sure.
You just plagiarized.
I'm pretty sure it was for the HSC.
Yep.
And basically, for my creative writing piece, ripped off the entire plot of The Eye starring Jessica Alba.
And did you get good marks?
Yes. And my English teacher, when she talked to me about it, when we all had our meetings with our English teacher to talk about our creative writing piece, she got like choked up. She got like emotional.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because it was about... Okay, so it was okay. It wasn't completely plagiarized. It was loosely themed on it.
You took the main touch points and you put it into your essay.
So the way that Jessica Alba loses her eyesight in the film is the way that my character in my story loses their eyesight. Mm-hmm. Instead of my character getting a dead person's eyes put in them, they I think the whole thing was they're being really descriptive about all the things that how do I explain it? So they're blind, but they're remembering like all the intricate details of their eyesight.
Yeah.
And like how the guy at the convenience store, like how his lower chin used to like jiggle when he said certain words and things like that, like really intricate stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I made it so you didn't really realize the person was blind kind of until the end.
And then there was that twist at the end.
And I think the last line of this story was like, I may be blind. I may be blind, but now I see more than I ever have, or something like that. Oh, I'm cringing even thinking about it.
I mean, you just think when you are in HSC, and for the international listeners, this is when we get to the end of our high schooling. You do the HSC so you can see which university you can get into. And when you are writing these creative writing pieces or you're doing your art, you think you are the most inspired, original, thought-provoking person in the world.
I thought I was David Lynch.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm untouchable. This story is just like my teacher's getting choked up. Like this is just incredible.
A genius.
Yeah. I don't know where this came from, like 2 nights before watching The Eye with Jessica Alba.
She's watched The Eye many years later and she's like,
hang on a sec. Joel should be getting paid for this.
Oh, I love that. But anyway, donate your organs. Takes 2 minutes.
Yes. And I'm 35, so it doesn't matter that I plagiarized for my HSC. Who's to know?
People are using ChatGPT and plagiarizing.
I know, and you couldn't do it back then. It was just fresh in my mind.
I love it.
Yeah. Donate your organs.
No,
Everyone's
I
super
really
important.
loved that journey we went on.
Super
it's
important.
Simple. It's super important. Honestly, if you want to do it and you've been thinking about it, it's a lot easier than you think. So we'll put a link in the show notes even or on our Instagram so you can go and do it really, really easily, 2 minutes.
If you are an organ donor and then when they like take your organs out to have a look, is it kind of like they're like, this liver's not good enough, and then they just like yeet it into a bin? Do they put it back in you? Yeah, it just hits the wall and hits the wall and slides down into the garbage.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think honestly, I don't know. And
I reckon they'll take all my bits out and just be like, nah.
They're like, this isn't
a great cut.
I think there is some kind of like a deep, like maybe, I don't know whether it is conspiracy theory or real, that sometimes when you donate your organs, you think it's going to a person or to science, but sometimes it can be used as like, your body could be used as like a test dummy for like explosives or something. I'm like,
cool.
I was like, yeah. Some people feel weird about that.
Yeah, blow me up.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I'm literally dead.
Yeah.
I won't know. I'm going to probably be cremated. So
I don't want to be in a coffin.
No, are you afraid that you'll wake up? Because that's my biggest fear.
Nah, I just want to like seep into the earth.
You can now be put in a sack and then they put
I want to be in a Hessian sack.
And then they put a tree in there and then the tree grows.
Yes, just like, and I'll be a Joel tree. Abracadabra. I'll be a whomping willow.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you recommending, Joel?
I didn't have time to think about it.
You know what? You've given us that story about the eyes.
Yes.
Hey, go watch The Eye.
Go watch The Eye with Jessica Alba.
And then imagine Joel's story and see if it was closer than you thought.
I don't think it won any awards back then. It was back in the day when like those, I think like The Grudge and The Ring and all that were really, really popular. So Jessica Alba's vehicle that I tried to be one of those. And I think it was based off a Japanese horror.
Yes. We really got into Japanese horror at that time.
Yeah. Love horror. Love Japan.
Woo!
Woo! Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm just thinking of myself as a Whomping Willow still.
So, Joel, before we begin, I'm going to ask you, have you ever heard of a group called the Guerrilla Girls?
Yes, we've talked about them.
I think we have briefly.
Did we talk about them around the time we were discussing the lady who shot Andy Warhol?
Maybe, yeah. Deep cut. Go back and listen to that
I think we might have gotten onto the topic of Guerrilla Girls.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let's deep dive, shall we? So we're going to go all the way back to the inception of them in 1985.
In the jungle.
In the jungle.
The gorillas.
In the Amazon. Just for some context, 1985, Billboard 100, the biggest song of the year.
I love this.
In America, what do you think it was? Can you hazard a guess?
1985. I'm guessing, was it Prince?
No, funnily enough, it wasn't.
Was it who's that Americana guy? Got the blue jeans and
like Billy Joel? No.
No.
John Bon Jovi?
No.
The other one, Billy Idol.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, 1985.
Billie Idol's UK.
Well,
can you give me a hint? Because I really want to guess.
UK was closer than you think for the number one song.
Was it Culture Club?
No, but that's a great. What a come.
Yeah.
It's saxophone. There was a lot of saxophone in this song.
Saxophone. UK. Oh, I give up.
Careless Whisper by George Michael.
George Michael. Yes.
And in Australia, can you guess what the number one song was? Because it was different.
1985.
Yep.
Was it an Australian artist?
No, it was an American collective.
Fleetwood Mac?
No, it's not a band. It's more
What's a collective
group of people. Like they all came together.
We Are the World.
Yes. Funnily enough, that spent over 9 weeks at number one.
We are the world. We are the children.
Yeah. There are 41 famous singers in that song.
Yeah.
Would you believe?
There's actually a good documentary about how that all came together.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go watch that documentary.
And how certain singers weren't that happy to be like with other certain singers on that song and who was getting these different parts of the song. And
a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos energy. We'll put all of the names of the famous people up here because there's too many to go through. But just a fun fact on that particular song, Phil Collins was the percussionist.
Oh, Phil.
Philly.
Do you remember? Wait, that's Michael Jackson.
But funnily enough, also on the song.
We fell in love.
So, 1985, we've really set the scene.
Yeah.
The Guerrilla Girls Collective was born after a moment of pure frustration against the art world. So picture this, MoMA is reopening after a huge renovation and millions of dollars have been spent to redo the building and...
Which one's MoMA?
MoMA is the one in New York City, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So out of the 165 kind of art pieces that were put into an exhibit, only 13 were women and even fewer were that of colour. So the curator at the time basically suggested that any artist that wasn't featured in this show should just rethink his career. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing about that as well was he said rethink his career. He didn't say rethink their career, her career. He was like they should rethink his career. So at this point, 1985, women were not being considered in the art world. So this led...
Women can't catch a bloody break in any bloody industry, can they?
No.
Far out.
So there...
Hot take.
Hot take. Women are 60 cents to the dollar.
Yeah.
So there was a protest initially when MoMA opened that was led by the Women's Caucus of the Arts. They picketed out the front of the gallery, and the thing that they found really disheartening, not only were they not featured in this not only were they not featured in this exhibit, but they also, no one was noticing them picketing and like protesting out the front. Like people would just kind of walk by.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is even more disheartening that no one cares anymore. However, this actually led to the more frustration, and these few women who were there realized that they needed something more media savvy and something more modern to get more eyes on the issues that they were speaking about. And thus, the Guerrilla Girls start to form. So the original name of the Guerrilla Girls was, this is kind of an interesting one, and I'll make SJ put the actual spelling up here because they were called
Guerrilla.
Yeah, so they were called Guerrilla, which is like guerrilla originally because that's like more the freedom fighter guerrilla, like warfare. But one of the women accidentally spelt the name gorilla, like the animal, and therefore, because of that one kind of instance of her accidentally writing down this wrong name, they adopted these gorilla masks because they were like, if we become an anonymous collective, it's more powerful. So by a like kind of weird fate thing happening, they became this really iconic look because of just a misspelling mistake.
Yeah.
It started with, I think, about 8 women, and they decided that it's more iconic to wear these masks and be anonymous. So they used synonyms of deceased female artists, so Frida Kahlo, all that kind of thing, when they signed off on things. And like each woman had that name assigned to them. And it also meant that the brilliance of being anonymous meant that because the art world was so guarded and heavily kind of gate-kept, the anonymity meant that they couldn't be attacked and ostracized from that world because no one knew who they were.
Yes.
So they couldn't be blackballed essentially from the art world because they'd be like, well,
could be anyone.
Yeah. And, you know, I think if you were in the know, you knew. However, you know, these bigger kind of institutions couldn't be like, well, now we're going to really out this artist because we don't care because of what they're saying about us. Also, weirdly enough, in America, apparently anonymous free speech is protected in the Constitution. Could be wrong, but when you remain anonymous as a collective, your freedom of speech is more heavily protected than if you were showing your face, which is interesting and dangerous.
I wonder why. I wonder if would that be why, like, with the KKK and stuff like that?
Like the KKK.
I know. I hate even saying it.
But I think maybe that's why the KKK are more protected because they are anonymous.
So are they protected? Is it? Well, so it's not illegal.
It's not illegal. So,
but they're covered and like in their robes.
Yeah. So I think your freedom of speech, like obviously the horrific attacks that they did, not protected, but their thought process, and America is very big at their freedom of speech. So it happens both ways. You know, if you remain anonymous, therefore you are allowed to say these things.
Gotcha.
And it's interesting because when it's on the right side of history, you go, that's a great thing to have. But when you're on the wrong side, you're like, oh, that's a terrible thing to have.
And it might be why like people at protests and stuff wear like balaclavas and stuff. And it's usually the people who are protesting bad things. But not these gorillas.
Not these gorillas. So,
ugh. They say.
So the Guerrilla Girls also said you'd be surprised what comes out of your mouth when you're wearing a mask, which
yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
So they felt that the art should reflect culture and not just be dictated by billionaires who had deep pockets. They said that the art in museums was a history of power, not necessarily a history of art, which I thought was very poignant. And they positioned themselves as the conscience of the art world. So the idea was pretty solid, but they needed to be strategic about what they were doing. And they used a kind of mixture of facts and humor and provocative images to get their message across to a wider audience.
Perfect mix.
We love it.
Yeah.
You know, marketing 101. So, Joel, we're going to go through a few of their I guess, most iconic pieces of work and where they kind of started and where they've kind of come, like, because they've been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
So I've picked out a few of the best ones that kind of epitomize what they're doing. So if you are listening, or if you're listening, either jump onto the YouTube or jump onto our Instagram, because I'll put all of this stuff up so you can see it, because it's visually quite good. So the first one, Joel, is when they first started, they did pretty minimalist posters.
Yep.
If you would like to describe what you're seeing here and what it says.
So the poster says, it's just a white poster with black bold text saying, how many women had one-person exhibitions at NYC museums last year, ? Guggenheim, 0. Metropolitan, 0. Modern, 1. Whitney, 0.
So
a public service message from the Guerrilla Girls.
Guerrilla Girls. So they started with this poster in 1985.
It's very like Got Milk.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Then they not only wanted to tackle the art that was in the museums, they also wanted to tackle the pay of female artists. So if you flick to the next one, you'll see a poster that came out in 1985.
Yep. So this is another just very straightforward poster. It's showing the American dollar, and it's got little those little kind of marks. You know those marks where it tells you where to cut something with scissors? It's got those over 1/4 of this dollar. And it says women in America earn only 2/3. Oh, well, it's 2/3 of this. Women in America only earn 2/3 of what men do. Women artists only earn 1/3 of what men artists do. A public service message from the Guerrilla Girls.
So their posters kind of started to become a bit more satirical as well. So in 1986, they started to really target collectors as well. So if you flick to the next one, Joel, this was one that they had made in 1986.
This looks like something that would be like on a Cotton On graphic t-shirt.
Yeah, these days it would be, right?
So this is a pretty pink page with a little sad flower drawn on top, and this is all in handwriting. And it says, "Dearest art collector, it has come to our attention that your collection, like most, does not contain enough art by women. We know that you feel terrible about this and will rectify the situation immediately. All of our love, Guerrilla Girls."
So interestingly, and the irony around this particular piece as well, is that it's a really sought after collector's art piece now. So
I love it.
I know.
Yeah.
Their work is really, really good.
Yeah.
They are some of my favorite like kind of artists. And this kind of work is really, I love the whole concept around it.
Yeah, this would be cool to have framed.
Yeah. So this particular one obviously was targeting that collectors would predominantly go after male artists, and they wanted to start to put female artists back into kind of the forefront of art history. So before we move on to their most famous piece of work, Joel, I'll get you to read out the 1988 Advantages of Being a Woman Artist poster that they made.
Is this the next one?
Yep.
Okay. So this is another kind of like Got Milk style, like white backdrop, big bold letters. Let me clear my throat. There's a lot of words here. Big bold headliner, "The Advantages of Being a Woman Artist." Here we go. It seems like it's a list. Working without the pressure of success, not having to be in shows with men, having an escape from the art world in your 4 freelance jobs, knowing your career might pick up after you're 80, being reassured that whatever kind of art you make, it will be labelled feminine, not being stuck in a tenured teaching position, seeing your ideas live on in the works of others, having the opportunity to choose between career and motherhood, not having to choke on those big cigars or paint in Italian suits, having more time to work after your mate dumps you for someone younger, being included in revised versions of art history, not having to undergo the embarrassment of being called a genius, getting your picture in the art magazines wearing a gorilla suit.
So
By the Guerrilla Girls.
By the Guerrilla Girls. So this was another piece that they had put up in 1988. Now, when we talk about the next piece of work, I'm going to go into it a little bit further with a bit of a backstory, because their most iconic work, and it might be one that you have seen or our listeners have seen before, came out in 1989. It was the first time they started to bring in a bit more color into their work. And it started because what the Guerrilla Girls started to do is they did these things called weenie counts.
Weenie counts.
Weenie counts.
I hate it when people call it weenie.
Weenie? Yeah, it's not. It's
like when people, sorry everyone, it's like when people say stiffy.
Oh,
it makes me cringe.
Yeah, I
don't
think
like it.
Probably why they use this word.
Weenie and stiffy. Ugh.
So essentially a weenie count was they would go into a major art museum and they would count the number of portraits within the gallery. They would count how many of those portraits were female nudes. And then they would count how many actual pieces of art were done by a woman.
Because I was about to say, I'm like, there are a lot of female nudes in like all the Botticelli, that kind of era.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Painted by men.
Painted by men. So what
Not to denounce, like they're beautiful, beautiful paintings.
I mean, there's
but it goes to show.
It goes to show that you can be in a gallery because as a possession, but you can't be there for your work, which is interesting.
Well, Da Vinci was doing men, but there were lots of rumors about Da Vinci.
Yeah, we all know about Da Vinci, don't we? Ay, ay, ay. So when they went and did the first weenie count, they did it at the Met. So if you want to flick to the next one, Joel, you'll see the image.
I've seen this in a gallery.
Yeah.
I think it would be maybe one of the original ones. It was in the UK.
You would have seen it at the Tate Modern, maybe.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Okay.
Alrighty, Joel. Tell us what you see.
So this is a bright yellow, almost like a banner of an image, and it's got a portrait of like I guess, what do you call this? Like a Botticelli woman.
Yeah.
Like a lounging nude of a woman.
Lounging nude.
And they've put the gorilla mask over the top of her. It looks very kind of pop arty, reminiscent of maybe like a Warhol. It says in big bold letters at the top, "Do women have to be naked to get into the Met Museum? Less than 5% of the artists in the modern art sections are women, but 85% of the nudes are female." By the Guerrilla Girls.
So pretty stark. And I think the thing that's so, it's not just them being like, women should be included. It's like, here's just the facts.
Yeah.
Think about it.
They're just pointing it out.
Yeah. So interestingly, with this lounging nude, it's actually they've taken the image from a painting. So the artwork was called the Grand Odalisque. Might be pronouncing that wrong, but here we go. And it was by John August Dominique. And essentially this particular painting was of a concubine. So
What's a concubine?
Concubine is a prostitute or sex worker, we would say. So it went from concubine to prostitute to sex worker.
Or some kind of like animal, like a aardvark.
Like, why does it look so feminine? So when this painting came out, the original artwork was actually met with mixed reviews because the portrait had been painted of this woman, but the elongated torso was anatomically incorrect. So when this was painted back in the day, people were really into getting things correct, and this was not. So
I feel like a lot of the paintings back in the day had like they were quite like curvaceous women, weren't they? But they did have like around about the waist area, the torsos were quite long.
Yeah.
The torsos were really long. The heads were really small.
Yep. And
the necks were really long. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that kind of art style.
I know, me too.
In my pictures, I often do like really long necks, little heads.
Look,
I just love those dimensions.
Yeah. So obviously when we go back to the original Guerrilla Girls picture here with the yellow. So the original artwork, theirs was also met with a bit of a mixed reviews. And in 1989, they decided to put this poster up to be included in this public art exhibition in New York, and it was rejected, which was...
Doesn't seem very New Yorky. This seems so New Yorky.
But they didn't let that stop them. So what they actually did was they hired a bunch of advertising space on buses in New York City.
Oh, cool.
And put the poster, like the image on that. So it was literally driving around New York City for ages. But then when they went to renew that advertising space and that contract, the MTA...
stands for motherfuckers touching my ass.
Every time I wrote it, that's exactly what I thought. And I was like, let's have a kiki. Shut the doors. Anyway, so the MTA rejected the renewal, saying that the image was too phallic because of the woman holding the fan. It looked like a penis.
Oh, I didn't even notice that part.
Mm-hmm. But
no, barely, and a small one at that.
Yeah. You know what? If you're going to make it at least a big one.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that they were also interesting that they're saying, hey, this painting is too phallic, but it's not even the painting that the Guerrilla Girls had done. They had just put that anyway.
I swiped across.
Oh, that's okay. We're going to talk about that one now.
Oh,
anyway.
I love it. I love this. Her.
Oh, yeah, that's the painting.
That is gorgeous. Oh, I love that.
So that is of the concubine.
Very elongated torso, but my God, that is a gorgeous painting.
Apparently she would have had 4 extra vertebrae if it had been a real woman.
Yeah, her
back is
her
long.
butt crack starts really far down. That is stunning. Oh, I love that.
There you go. So that's the original painting that they used for the poster.
Cool.
All right. Now, they also started to talk more about racism and general oppression within the art world. So if you flick to the next poster, before we talk about that one, there was also other posters that they'd done previously that read like, you know, when racism and fascism is no longer fashionable, what will your art collection look like? So they started to plant the seed to these collectors like, maybe you want to diversify a little bit. And then they created this poster in 1987. So Joel, would you like to tell us what you see?
Okie dokie. This is a black poster, again with the bold lettering. It's got on the left-hand side of it, it's got a piece of bread. And over the bread, it says, "We sell white bread." Then on the right-hand side, it says, "Ingredients, white men, artificial flavorings, preservatives." Asterisk, contains less than the minimum daily requirement of white women and non-whites. A public service message from the Guerrilla Girls.
So that was one of their more prominent pieces as well. And then if we kind of jump a little bit of time, you know, they're still creating work throughout this period, but I'm just pointing out some different work that they did. In 2002, they did an anatomically correct Oscar and put billboards all around Hollywood.
2002?
Yeah.
Oh, so they were around for ages.
They've been around since, the 80s.
So it's an ongoing collective.
Ongoing collective.
Oh.
They have not disappeared yet.
Cool.
So this was 2002. They put billboards around Hollywood around Oscar season, and they also created a printout. So Joel, if you want to tell us about...
Ooh, this might be a bit harder for me to explain.
Yeah,
there's a lot of elements.
There's a lot of elements here, and we'll just kind of... But if you want to have a look at it, Joel, what are the just like clear elements that you pull from it? So
it's more of like a diagrammy kind of poster. It's got the Guerrilla Girl, again with a very beautiful image of a woman with the gorilla head over the top. Now on the left-hand side, it says, "Send a message to those body-obsessed guys in Hollywood." And then on the right-hand side, it's got an anatomically correct Oscar, which is a regular Joe? A regular Joe, average Joe looking Oscar with all the curves and the bits and the dick and the hair on the legs. Only 3% of the acting awards, leading and supporting, have ever gone to persons of color, African American, Latino, and Asian American combined. 94% of the writing awards have gone to men. No woman has ever won an Oscar for direction, cinematography, or sound, which might be different now.
That's changed now, yes.
It's then got on the right-hand side, want to direct? You're in the wrong bathroom. And then it's got a women and a director's bathroom instead of women and men's. And these days, unisex.
Unisex.
In 1987, 2.4% of major films were directed by women. By 1999, that number rose to a whopping 4%. I think that's with a bit of sarcasm. And then down the very bottom, it's got thin, thinner, and thinnest. Now, under thin, it says the earnings of female actors peak from age 20 to 29, then drop permanently after 30. Jeez. Thinner. Only 25% of roles for actors, over 40% go to women. Oh, over 40 go to women. Thinnest. African Americans get only 13.4% of acting jobs, Latinos 3.5%, and Asians 2.1%. I'm guessing this is for America.
Yeah. This is America, and this was in 2002. So no doubt times have changed, but they're...
A lot of info here.
A lot of info, but their direction was take this printout, cut it out, and stick it on bathroom, like toilets and stuff all around so people start to get the message out.
Yep.
And then finally, Joel, the last one I'll make you describe, in 2006, they did the Unchain the Female Directors poster. And once again, they put this around LA during Oscar season.
I love this. I just love the design of it.
Yeah.
It's got a vintage King Kong on the Queen Kong, I'd say, because it's a female King Kong who's shackled and has an Oscar in her hand. And it says, women directed only 7% of the top 200 films of 2005. No woman director has ever won the Oscar. Only 3 have been nominated.
So,
which I think has been changed.
I think we've had 1 female win now, maybe 2. I think we might have had 2.
Only? Wow.
Not great.
There you go.
Yeah. So not only did they do these posters, they also started to move into other projects. They made a book called The Guerrilla Girls Bedside Companion to the History of Western Art. And it was a huge success for them. They used it like a comic book history lesson that sold about 82,000 copies and exposed how men were the ones writing the history of art and had sidelined women for centuries, and how women were always there.
Yeah.
They also did like Guerrilla Girl activity books, coloring books, you know, that kind of thing. So they started to do talking events, heaps of different avenues. They got into like making videos and content and stuff like that. Something that came into play later on and divided the audience a little bit when it came to the Guerrilla Girls is the fact that they started working with the institutions that they once protested against.
Okay.
So this is kind of where, you know, when we have activist groups, especially ones like this, money starts to come in. Things start to change because it always happens like, you know, you'll be like, all right, we're protesting against the Met, but now the Met wants to buy one of our pieces of work. Where do we sit with that? You know, because it's like you're just it's a good thing because they're putting a female artist in the Met, but are you being bought? And therefore your message starts to get, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense, but I can see the conundrum here.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's giving you an opportunity that you were fighting for. Yeah. But in the same breath, it's just like, oh, are we selling out? But yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah. There's a word for it. I can't think of it right now.
And then also if you get just say the Tate buys your work, therefore do you no longer speak about the Tate not having, you know, there's an element of are they buying your silence as well? Because if you stop talking about that,
but then you can I wonder if they would make some kind of stance being like, yes, you can showcase our pieces. However, you can't have them unless you agree to include X amount of more female artists. Here are some examples of some great ones. La, 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 la.
Exactly. There's definitely ways you can do it. But, you know, it brings up conflict feelings.
Interesting.
Apparently, there were also challenges within the group itself. Despite its strong stance against racism, the group also faced criticism, especially early on, for being mostly white women within the group.
I assume they wouldn't be turning away women of colour wanting to join. It just so happened.
Yeah. However,
Okay.
there was apparently one woman, or there was an artist within the collective who was a woman of color, and she spoke about experiencing things like tokenism, silencing,
Okay.
and commented on the fact that they may not have been putting the effort into understanding specific challenges of the different minority groups faced. It was a bit more of a overview kind of thing, not like delving in. And this is the problem when we have anonymous collectives, is we can't survey at a glance from an outsider's perspective the actual diversity within the group.
Yes.
So there's, pros and cons with being anonymous.
Yes.
So that was one of the things that happened. They also faced controversy when it came to how they depicted women, because it was quite broad, especially I think when we take feminism to the masses, sometimes the message has to be stripped back in order for an audience to glance and comprehend.
Yes.
Right? And therefore we get a very generic look of what a woman's world It's a woman's world.
I was waiting. I was waiting for it.
A woman's world looks like, or what a female looks like, that kind of thing. So we get broader views and we get little context when it comes to things like this.
This is similar to what I was saying about the lady who did the females club at the Mona Museum in Tasmania.
Yes.
When I brought up, like, she's got this one ideal of what is classically feminine, and she's making this room where she's excluding men out of into a feminine space. But what does a feminine space look like? You're kind of oh my God, Joel, find your word. Not cliche.
Caricature?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's a generalized
You're
version.
putting it into a box.
Yeah, and you're kind of saying this is what the female looks like. And sometimes when we do things like this, that's how it, and I don't necessarily agree, but that's sometimes how it has to be because it's palatable for a wider audience.
Yes.
And sometimes
it makes the message stronger.
Yeah, you can't sometimes go into nuances on a poster.
I do feel like with a lot of these things, like after a while, the message kind of gets a bit lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
And like with this group, for instance, the collective has obviously changed a bit from the 80s into the roaring 2000s.
Yeah.
As things might have started to become a bit more accepted and stuff like that, it seemed like they started to almost eat like the call was coming from inside the house. They were like eating themselves. Yeah. Eating themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So
because opportunities were coming to them all of a sudden, and they were getting more of a wider audience. And I guess Hollywood might have been changing into making a few changes and stuff like that. And they're kind of like, well, shit, where do we sit now with this full-on feminist movement?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the changes, like kind of like, what do we do?
Yeah. And so a particular piece was called The Estrogen Bomb, which essentially ties estrogen to women, which in the 80s, that's what we would have thought. But when we think about it now, just because you have a specific amount of estrogen does not necessarily mean that your gender is female or male. So there's a lot of things where you have to go broad to get an audience, but sometimes that can cost in some aspects.
Yeah. Yes.
And feminism itself, like I'm sitting here saying this as a white woman in a pretty, secure world. There's going to be different experiences above and below me. You know what I mean?
And I'm commenting on this as a white man. But I'm gay.
Don't worry, ladies.
I've got my own shit to deal with.
I've got the gay shit to deal with. Yeah. So it's kind of like you're always going to sit at a different point than other people. And it's, Anyway, we could go on about it for hours. So there was a moment within the group called the banana split. It was
clever.
It was a major internal conflict, and there were accusations particularly aimed at the members named Frida Kahlo and Kath Kolbitz. There were their pseudonyms. And this related to a growing hierarchy within the non-hierarchical group, issues around control, decision-making, and also profits.
And these ladies have been around since the 80s because they were the OGs, weren't they?
Right? So this is the thing when money gets involved, activism is involved, you have a, non-hierarchical group, there's going to start to be a hierarchy because things are starting to happen. It's a business. It's become a business.
It's become a business.
Yeah. So eventually 5 members from the original core group split off to form their own groups. The reason why this is kind of important and interesting is because there is the Guerrilla Girls. These 2 new groups that formed were called Guerrilla Girls on Tour and Guerrilla Girls Broadband.
Okay.
So they are still using the name Guerrilla Girls.
Yeah.
Which, as core members of the original group, I understand, but also it becomes a bit messy because messaging could be conflicted, right?
Yeah.
So
it might get a bit confusing.
Get a little bit confusing. So in 2003, it actually ended up in court, which puts the whole anonymity thing on the line, because when you take someone to court for a federal lawsuit, you have to name people.
And you can't show up in your gorilla masks.
You cannot, even though they tried and they asked the judge and the judge said no. They said, can we testify in our gorilla masks? And he was like, that is ridiculous. Absolutely not.
No, that's not how it works.
This is not how federal law works.
No.
So.
Well, that's bullshit because.
You know what? I'm going to be a hysterical woman. So in 2003, it ended up in court, and because of these actions, 3 of the names were revealed. It was Guerrilla Zempel and Erica Rothenberg versus
Guerrilla. Yep. Okay.
That's what I've written down, so I hope
Guerrilla
versus Donna Kaz. So those, and then it was like versus Donna Kaz, and then the collective of the splintered groups were named so that the rest of them could remain anonymous.
Yep.
So only 3 names were revealed at this point. So interestingly now, when I went and Googled these names of these 3 women, when you Google Zempel's or Rothenberg's name as just their name as an artist, it will come up with their artwork, not Guerrilla Girls. So just their art.
Okay.
When you type in their name with the word Guerrilla Girls, just their art comes up, and then like a few things down says the Guerrilla Girls is an anonymous collective. So it's like they've really
wiped
it.
Yeah, okay.
So I found that super interesting, whether that is just chance or whether that is, I think it is more so.
No, it feels like they've had something to do with it, because I feel like the Guerrilla Girls movement is probably a bit more of a search term and a bit more popular than these individual female names as art pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So I found that.
I'm guessing they weren't like famous artists.
No, they were known, but they weren't famous. And I just find that real separation of the two very interesting, like especially these days.
It'd be hard to do.
Yeah. And so I found that they're burying the lead. Interestingly though, Donna, however, has written a book about her time with the Guerrilla Girls. So she is okay to not be anonymous anymore. The defendant, I'm sorry, this is going to get a bit legal jargon.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
I'll try and keep up.
So the defendants and representatives of Guerrilla Girls on Tour and Guerrilla Girls Broadband and various Jane Does claimed that the unincorporated collective was initially formed and was not interested in obtaining copyright or intellectual property rights to protect the work. They argued that the works were created by a collective where joint authorship and rights for intellectual property should all be kind of associated with this unincorporated group. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Essentially, break it down. If I can break it down as easy.
Smoke just starts coming out of my ears.
God, how I'm saying that. Essentially, they're saying no one owns the work. The work is owned by a collective. Therefore, no one should technically be profiting off it.
Yes.
The collective can, but the individuals can't.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. No.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Eventually, the the case was settled in 2005 with the agreement that the shared history of all three groups would be listed on the Guerrilla Girl Incorporated website, and donation of profits and archives would be agreed upon between all three collectives.
Okay.
So if you were part of the original group, you got to decide where the money was donated or where it ended up. So that was kind of the court battle that actually made the Guerrilla Girls less anonymous. But you know what? No one's really looking into that, I don't think. So still somewhat anonymous. Let's check in now to 2012. Let's get over this court case.
They spend it all at Sephora.
Typical women. Just buying makeup. They just went to the hair salon and got their nails done. Spent it all on
Spa day.
Claire. They just do a montage. It's just all of them in their like gorilla masks.
Different hairdos.
That would actually be amazing. Let's fast forward to 2012 because we check back in with the Met. Joel, you're going to pick up that cheeky little iPad. We've got two new pieces.
You're going to have to get into it for me.
I'm going to have to break the locks. All right, we're going to check back in with the Met because we're going to do another weenie count.
Oh, I love me a weenie count.
So
I hate the word weenie.
This was 2012, so very similar to that yellow poster with the mask that we saw. But do you want to give us the updated facts? You'll notice it is exactly the same image, but the numbers have changed slightly. Just a reminder, less than 5% of the artists were in the old one and they're in the Met, and then there was 85% were nudes of females. Joel, do you want to give us the new stats?
Less than 4% of the artists in the modern art section are women, but 76% of the nudes are female.
Less nude women, less female. Oh, sorry, less nude women, less female artists. So
more nude men. Yay!
Yeah, the gays are finally
Want to see
making
those
it.
dicks?
It's making an impact. So yeah, not great results.
Nah.
But you know what? I don't know what to say.
Either.
Fuck
I
it.
want more naked men in my galleries.
Well, yeah. And you know what?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Well,
Da Vinci really loved it.
He really
He had something going on there.
You know what? We should look into that. So it's, not great. Then if we were in a full circle moment in 2021, the picture that we see there was actually included in and donated to I think it was the Met Museum and the Tate Modern. So that museum now hangs in those museums.
That museum hangs in those
that
museums.
Fuck me. How are we going to do a second one? That artwork hangs in the museums of the places that they once protested.
Okay, so this has the original one that we talked about just before. It's a white column and a black column. Now, on the left-hand side on the white column, it has, like we've seen, how many women had one-person exhibitions at the NYC museums last year. Guggenheim 0, Metropolitan 0, Modern 1, Whitney 0 in 1985 in big red letters or numbers over it. On the right-hand side, how many women had one-person exhibitions at the NYC museums last year? This is in 2015. Guggenheim, 0 is crossed out, 1 is next to it. Metropolitan, 0 is crossed out, 1 is next to it. Modern, 1 is crossed out, 2 is next to it. Whitney, 0 is crossed out, 1 is next to it.
So massive.
Not a huge change there.
You know what? But technically, 100% increase in...
Yeah. From 0 to 1, baby.
Where it's only going to take how many years if we did the math, worked it backwards? So when we look at this group's impact over the last 40 years, we can see that no doubt they sparked a crucial conversation at a time when it needed to be brought to the attention of the public. Their work helped spark widespread conversation, especially when it came to issues of feminism and racism in the arts. It also shows that using humour and satire within their work has been emulated again and again by different activist groups to highlight different issues. The art world still really hasn't fully caught up to...
No, but I'd like to know, the difference now
well,
compared to 2015.
2015.
It was a long time ago.
It was. To be fair, it was.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Bring us a weenie count, please,
Yes.
Guerrilla Girls. Or maybe we should go. We'll claim it on the business.
Yeah.
Go and have it. We'll do our own weenie counts.
Weenie.
So, it's not great that we really haven't caught up, but it is conversations that are probably happening more and more as we get to the day. Yes. When you look at it,
I do love like a Botticelli naked female though.
Me too.
God, they look gorgeous.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. The female form is so gorgeous. Men form can be gorgeous. It's a bit different, but the curvature of a woman and it's just
supple breast.
A supple breast and like the wide hips. It's just so much fun to draw. Like when I used to go to life drawing and stuff like that, like I'd love it if we'd have like a voluptuous female model, because I'd be like, oh, there's so much like to work with here, and there's so much beautiful shape and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is nicer to draw than a male. Yeah. I'm going to say that. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, clearly, I love the male. I love the male form.
Yeah.
In its varying ways. Completely stuffed up your rounding out of the episode.
No, you added context, you added vibes. When we look at it, Joel, the gorilla mask and a powerful symbol was all born from a typo and became a worldwide cultural phenomenon. And I think the biggest thing that I want to leave the audience with, and you, Joel, is that it's a bit of a question and something to think about the next time you go into a museum. So, gentle listeners, the next time you walk into a museum, I want you to look around and think about what perspectives are missing, what perspectives are actually included in the exhibit you're standing in, and how does it shape what you're looking at. Because I can guarantee you, in every single art movement, there are women, there are also people of colour, and there are oppressed minorities who were also at the forefront of these big changes within the art history and the art world. So if you do not see their work there is a reason for that.
Well said.
Many thanks. I actually wrote that myself.
Very well said.
Very well said.
Yes.
Anywho.
Very nice bookend to a fascinating story.
Any thoughts and feelings, Joel, about the Guerrilla Girls?
My favourite part is just their posters and stuff. Yeah. I thought they were just really cool. They were eye-catching. They got the point across. And I would like one in my house because they look really cute.
They're really cute and they're quite large. They're very cool. I want one too.
Yeah.
We should all get a Guerrilla Girl.
Yeah, let's all go gorillas.
Let's go bananas.
Get a little Guerrilla Girl like a Labubu and just pop it on you. Yeah.
Like, who's that? Well, do I have a story for you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, I will say have a great week.
Have a great hump day.
Hump day. You did it.
You're halfway there. It's only down or uphill. It's downhill from here, uphill from here. Whatever way you're looking at it.
Make sure you come over to Instagram and TikTok and leave us a review. As always.
Yes.
Have a great week and goodbye.
Bye. Bye.